Hey YouTube world, Chef Coco here, coming to you with a new video. I have just recently moved, so I've been doing a lot of unpacking the past few months besides working my full-time job as an executive chef. Just been very busy. And I found all my stoves, well, not all of them. I have most of my stoves, my different types of stoves that I first started with to what I've tried out and evolved through. So I'm just gonna pause this for a second and then show you all my stoves. Okay, here we go. When I first started out, I actually bought something similar to this gas stove right here. It was a pocket rocket, but I actually burnt the crap out of the handle where you turn up the gas. Where this one's a metal one, and this one has the piezo, but now the piezo is dead on it, so I usually light it with a lighter. And then I started watching videos, and I learned to make alcohol stoves out of soda cans or beer cans. This was my first alcohol stove I've ever made. It was out of a Pepsi can. They're good, I like them, but then you also have to kind of rig up a way to set this up so your pot's above it, and I just struggled with that part of it, and then carrying the weight of alcohol was another thing for me. But I played with them. I made a few different ones, as you can see. Yes, I'm a Pepsi drinker. I made different sizes, but this was my first one ever, and it really worked well. It worked pretty good. And I went to smaller cans, of course. I still have them. I also found this. Some guy makes these. I can't remember who. I bought this a few years ago. This is an alcohol stove as well, but it really only is enough to heat up water, not at a full boil, but to warm up water for tea or coffee. It's made out of flashlight ends. So you put it together and there you go. Another one of my alcohol stoves was this one right here, and it comes in its stand. Again, it was alright, but the weight of it, I don't have my scale either. I haven't found my scale. I want to say this whole setup is at least 8 ounces without the alcohol. Then I wandered off and got sent this Vargo titanium wood stove. I've used it one time. It's convenient because you're out in the woods anyway. If you're going out in the back country, you're out in the woods anyway, and you can find a lot of sticks and use matches for a lighter, or you can take apart one of these things, an Esbit cube, kind of take a knife and scrape it off to get something started with that. They're okay, but I felt that it left a lot of soot on the bottom of my pans, and I was just not thrilled about it, but I mean, it is cleanable. But back to my alcohol stoves, you see I do have another one here. It's a Vargo titanium alcohol stove. This is extremely light. This one right here is really light. But again, the downfall of it is you have to carry your denatured alcohol or heat or whatever's convenient for you, though. It's all personal preference. So after playing around with that stuff, I went back to the gas stoves and got sent this gas stove, which is got the line and everything. It's from YKS. The weight, they say it's an ultralight stove. I again don't have my scale yet, but I want to say it's at least 6 to 8 ounces, and you have to have your gas. Then on one of my bigger hikes I did, on my through hike on the AT, I did a couple different things. So I did have my pocket rocket, and I did have an alcohol stove. So, depending on where I was, I switched out. But then I found and heard about the BRS stove. Talk about extremely light. It is 0.88 ounces, so it's an eighth of an ounce. Its BTUs are pretty high. I don't have my packaging for that either, but if you're familiar with the BRS stoves, you know that they put out a big amount of heat. And they do boil your water in a quick amount of time. And you have to carry your gas. And of course, you saw this one. This is quite weighty too. This is at least 7 to 10 ounces. It's very heavy because this is a very thick bottom right here. Plus you got the piezo, but that piezo doesn't work anymore. And then I dabbled into an Esbit stove. I got this marked down at REI. I paid like $5 for it. I believe it's a Vargo. It is extremely lightweight. Couple ounces if that. But the only thing about Esbit is that I was hammock camping at the time, and I had put this with this partially burnt Esbit cube on a tarp underneath my hammock, and for the life of me couldn't figure out what the nasty stank I was smelling. So I guess it's the smell of Esbit I don't care for, because I really didn't like the smell afterwards. But it burns hot, it's lightweight, and you only have to carry these cubes, and you can break these cubes down, as you can see. Then I got sent this Esbit stove. It just says Esbit. It is a foldable, portable pocket stove. The weight on this, I do have the box in front of me on this one. The weight on this, let me see. It can boil, if you use a whole cube, it can boil a pint of water in 8 minutes. Depending on conditions, 1/2 ounce cube, 1/5 of an ounce of a cube will bring water to boil in approximately 8 minutes. It burns at 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit. The weight of the stove is 6.1 ounces for this stove. I have not tried it out yet. As you can see, it's clean as a whistle. But I'm sure I will. Hey, Chef Coco back with you. Sorry about that. Phone overheated outside. That tells you how hot it is outside where I live. But anyway, I haven't tried out that Esbit stove yet. But at one point I probably will, for sure. In that case, then I would go to what I'd use for my lighting systems. But here's the cube. But even with using the cube, I'd either use my lighters, or there's this the rod. This would work also. You gotta press down right here where my thumb is, and then do that motion, and it should light it. But if you're using your Esbit stove, you can't exactly get it in there to do that. So the striking rod would be great. The lighter would definitely be great, but I also carry matches. I'm also trying to get used to this phone still. I just switched from Galaxy to iPhone, and now I'm questioning why. But anyway, I do have these matches. They don't blow out. They strike when they're wet. So these are my fire sources. So always, 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 I have a mini Bic or a Bic. I usually go mini Bics, but sometimes I'll carry one of each. So I'll have 2 lighters, which is, you know, they're not heavy, really. Back up, I have my matches. That's my usual. Now, if I really want to carry a little bit more weight, I'll bring in my striking rods. my ferro rods. So that's it. I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment down below. Like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. I'm going to try and get more done. I've just been down with a little bit of physical issues with my arthritis, so it's slowed me down. And it's also summertime, and it is really hot here. I mean, extremely hot. 90s and above, so no hiking for this girl. Waiting for the fall to hit, and when fall comes in, I will be going out doing a lot of hiking. I just purchased a Z-Pax 2-plex tent. Got to give that a try. I did set it up in my backyard. It's pretty cool, but looking forward to get out on the trails starting in the fall. So from my equipment to yours, I hope to see you again. Please like the like button if this was any help to you. Any questions, you can just comment down below. I can get weights to you anytime, because I will find my scale today. I've got a lot of things to unpack, so hopefully we'll see you on the trail. Thanks for watching.